Hey guys! As I slowly come to another crossroads in my life, I find myself becoming oddly nostalgic. My thoughts are going back to the great days I had in college and some of the few really good days I had in high school, and just kind of going back to a time when I felt like I was a little more stable. Like when I had a course that I knew for sure was the one I was going to follow, as opposed to, being an adult and floating through the unending sea of what the hell is going on. Back then I had so much structure. I was in just about every club there was. I was in choir and yearbook and theater and forensics and newspaper and peer listeners, madrigals, honors classes, AP classes. I had an after-school job. And all of that I did in part because I liked it and in part because I was getting ready for the next step in my life, which was to go to college. Which I did. I went to college, and in college I knew exactly what major I wanted, and so I declared right away, and I got a job to pay for me to go to college, and I did all of the things you were supposed to do, and then I graduated, and that's where all of my careful planning went out the window. I'd only planned as far as graduating from college. After that, I knew I wanted to get a job in writing, but I didn't know what that meant. And now I still want to get a job as a professional writer, and I still don't know what that means exactly. I mean, right after college, I had a really good career-worthy job, but it wasn't for me. I realized that pretty quickly, and ever since then, I've just been taking jobs that'll help pay the bills, but not something that I know I want to stick with for the rest of forever. And that's pretty much been my life for the last 5 years. But now I think I've found a career path that I really want to follow. I talked about it a little bit in a video a while back when I got my promotion, that I did some community relations things, and I find that that's what I am truly, truly passionate about. I really like doing the community building aspect of it, working with nonprofits, getting them more money because they need it, because they're doing such amazing things. So I feel this is something I could do professionally and be really good at, and so I've started applying for jobs in that field. Or rather, I'm trying. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but there's something called imposter syndrome. And Caltech's Counseling Center defines it as a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist even in the face of information that indicates that the opposite is true. It is experienced internally as chronic self-doubt and feelings of intellectual fraudulence. What's funny is I haven't actually achieved anything yet, at least as far as this field goes. But even just sitting down to write the resumes and cover letters to try and do this thing makes me feel like I'm lying. I mean, I know I can do the job, I know I have the necessary skill set, but looking down at the exact qualifications and realizing that I don't fit all of them just perfectly is a little terrifying. So what my brain does, instead of getting into the job and saying, oh god, you're gonna fail, your peers are gonna figure out that you don't know what you're doing, what I'm afraid of is walking into an interview and having them go, well, you're not exactly what we had in mind, you can't do this. So I am so afraid of this potential scenario that I haven't even gotten to that I'm afraid to even try. And what's so bizarre is that on other days I feel like I can take on the world, I can do anything, I am awesome. And then I sit down to write these letters and apply for these jobs, and I'm just like, no, not so much. Like, I'll even think about not putting things on my resume because I'm like, well, yeah, I did that, but is that really worth mentioning? And, even though I feel like I learn quickly, I feel like if I get in there and from day one I'm not completely capable of doing the job, they're gonna be like, really, we're paying this girl? Out the window. Yeah, my brain is a fun place to be these days. So I guess for right now, I'm going to hide in my nostalgia, climb out every so often to apply for a job while feeling like a complete and total imposter, and then climb back into my nostalgia while being grateful that I'm old enough to take a glass of wine with me. I'll see you guys later.